Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood. It's just another thing, one thing after another. Now apparently YouTubers are being blamed for the outcomes of their movies, and actors are furious that these movie reviewers, specifically on YouTube, I'm sure there's other platforms as well, that they're the reason that their movies are doing poorly. It can't be because the writing is just god awful, the acting is not great, and the movies themselves altogether as a complete package are just garbage. I It couldn't be that. Surely it can't be that. Maybe it can be. That's why these people have followings, is because well, all of them realize that wow, yeah, these movies are just not great. God forbid they realize that. But anyway, Hollywood back at it again, making more excuses than last time. To shout out to Greg Doucette. But we're just going to go over this article and just see what in the world's going on here. This is an article here. This one's actually over a year old, but I mean, the topic has resurfaced, I've seen over the internet, so I thought I would just touch back on it. It says directors blaming audiences is a trend that needs to stop. Amen. Some Hollywood filmmakers seem to be taking the approach of addressing recent film industry issues with a less than generous attitude. The film industry is in a difficult place at the moment. The one-two punch of the 2020 lockdown and the new prominence of streaming services has threatened the business of theaters in a way that has never been seen before in cinema's entire history. Less and less people are showing up at theaters for anything other than the big-budget spectacle films. I mean, that's definitely a part of it too. Streaming services, the convenience of it. You just don't even have to leave your house and you get movies and stuff like that and shows. I mean, that's kind of why I don't really go out to the theaters anymore. But more so than that, the reason I don't go is because there just hasn't really been anything that I wanted to go see and spend $40 on if I want to take somebody else to go see it. Like, and that's not even including not getting anything for food or drinks or anything like that. There just hasn't been anything that I deemed worthy to go to the theaters again. Heck, I would even probably pay to go watch Lord of the Rings in the theaters again. There just has not been anything decent. I think I did go watch Dune 2. It was actually pretty good, all things considered, for Hollywood standards anyway nowadays. Which is such a low bar. It's so sad, but it is what it is. But yeah, there just has not been anything. I mean, sure, that this is definitely a valid reason, but even more so than that is that theater going is still very enjoyable. I still like to go. If there's something I want to watch in theaters, what do I want to go watch? Barbie in theaters? What? I don't know. It's just blowing my mind that they keep trying to release these new superhero movies that nobody cares about. People don't even know these characters, and the stories themselves are just awful too. It just doesn't even. There's nothing superhero-y about it. Like with the first Avenger movies, or even the preludes to those with Iron Man and Thor and stuff, you felt like they were superheroes, like a genuine story. Nowadays, it just seems like the story itself is just about overcoming personal struggle or something like that, which can be okay, but at the end of the day, who's watching the majority of these films? Guys are. Dudes like me who just like to see big, strong dudes or dudes with magic just blowing stuff up, killing bad guys, stuff like that. I mean, you just have to realize that's the majority of the audience. So once you start alienating those people, they're just going to stop watching. And that's what we've seen. And so now you have Hollywood, or not even just now, they've been doing it for years now. But more so, it just keeps going and going because they're like, well, it's your guys' fault for not liking what we have. It's like, no. Maybe it's your fault for making stuff that sucks. Maybe if you didn't make stuff that sucked, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not saying Dune 2 was like perfect, but it was decent. I enjoyed watching it. Make movies like that, maybe more people would go and watch them. I don't know. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? So this has placed small and mid-budget filmmakers in a difficult position. If the movies do not sell tickets, studios will have little reason to bankroll future projects of a similar nature. It's a difficult problem to solve. But Hollywood filmmakers seem to be taking the opposite of the right approach of addressing the issue with a less than generous attitude towards the very audience that keeps the film industry in business. Exactly my point. Like, who is the audience for most of these movies? I mean, this one is going to be touching on it looks like it just there's a picture of like a chick flick, which obviously is not for dudes, but I'm talking about in general, like the big budget movies, even the lower budget movies. Who is the target audience for the movies? If it's going to be a chick flick, you just have to realize that there's probably just not going to be as many people going to watch that as like a big Avengers movie. It is what it is. The budget of it, I don't really agree with either. Like the budget has anything to do with how good or bad a movie is. I mean, sure, obviously it plays a role. I mean, let's not beat around the bush there. I mean, sure, it plays a role. But budget doesn't mean everything. I mean, let's look at Rings of Power now. Like almost $800 million, almost $1 billion, I think. Once you add on all the other stuff, that show was just, it doesn't even compare to Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings has been around for a while. So budget ain't everything. Budget ain't everything. You could have all the good cinematics or whatever, but if the writing's not good, if the story's not good, the action's not good, because I mean, let's be real too. Who watches Lord of the Rings? Dudes like me, or just dudes in general. Okay, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. So yeah, the fact that we have Hollywood just coming out, I've just seen a bunch of videos going around about blaming like Critical Drinker and these bigger YouTubers who their thing is just critiquing these movies and just pointing out just how awful most of them are nowadays. They keep blaming them for why they're failing, and it's like, no, the movies fail because they're bad. And a lot of people agree, and that's why these bigger YouTubers and movie critics have followings, because they agree with them. Make less horrible movies, make better movies. More people will turn up to go watch the movie. It's as simple as that. It just doesn't. It's the same thing with games. Make a good game, more people will buy it. Make a horrible game, less people will buy it. Suicide Squad, not a great game, not a lot of people bought it. Helldivers 2, great game, a lot of people bought it. It's just that simple. It goes for anything. Like, let's stop talking about the budget and other things. It's like, write a good story, know who your audience is, and make it good. It is just that simple. And then oh my gosh, it's game developers, Hollywood. Where did we go wrong? It's just like they flipped. They now are trying to make these god awful games and movies and then sell them as like the best thing since sliced bread. It's like, no, that's not how that works. The movies in the past were good for a reason. Learn from those. Don't forget them. Seems like that's what they're trying to do, is just forget the movies of the past and what made them good. And obvious, I mean, it's quite obvious. I mean, let's be real here. The movies nowadays are horrible in comparison to the movies of the past. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the whole Hollywood blaming YouTube critics and movie critics in general, accusing them that their movies are flopping. I think it's just utterly ridiculous, but I just like to know what other people have to say. Again, more drama for drama's sake. I mean, welcome to America, where we can just make drama about anything. But anyway, if you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like, and I hope to see you guys around. Peace.